all upon it sank beneath the waves. I was among the fallen, but the Almighty sent a plank my way, the very one used for washing clothes. I clung to it, paddling with my feet like a frog, as the waves lent me strength from both. They say that in the days of Harun al-Rashid, in the grand city of Baghdad, there lived a poor and weary man, known to all as Sinbad the porter. His back was bowed beneath the burdens of others, earning his living by carrying loads through the scorching streets. One day, beneath a sun so fierce that iron itself sizzled, he staggered under a heavy bundle, sweat streaming from his brow. At last, he reached the grand gate of a merchant's house, beside which stood a marble bench, placing his load upon the bench to rest, he was drawn by melodies, lilting songs and the blissful trills of birds, floating out from behind the walls. Entranced, he stepped inside. There, in the courtyard, bloomed a garden of delights, fragrant foods, dancing attendants, and every instrument of joy and revelry. Lifting his gaze to the heavens, he whispered asterisk, O Creator, nourisher of beasts and men. You bestow richness upon whom you will, and withhold from whom you choose. You grant dignity to one, and humbleness to another. All sovereignty and wise judgment are yours alone, and you bless whomever you desire with boundless sustenance. And just as he turned to retrieve his load and take his leave, a young boy clad in silken garments embroidered with jewels emerged. Grasping the porter's sleeve, he said, "Come in, the master wishes to speak with you." Unable to resist the boy's command, Sinbad the porter entered the house and handed his burden to a servant at the entrance. Inside, the atmosphere shimmered with laughter and music, walls seemed built from mirth itself, and joy soaked into every tapestry. Among cheerful guests and garlands of fruit and bloom, sat a dignified man with hair kissed by silver and age's gentle touch. The porter bowed low, greeted the "Listen well, for what you hear shall bewilder the mind and stir the soul. Know this, fate and destiny spin their threads with no escape, and I, your humble narrator, shall now recount the wondrous chronicle of my first voyage. O companions of the journey, strike thy likes and lend me your ears, as we dive into the first sublime tale of Sinbad the sailor. The journey begins thus. My father was a merchant of grand repute. When his years were spent and his soul departed, he left behind treasures aplenty. I indulged in these riches with abandon, believing they were endless, but lo! Time passed, and I awoke to find my wealth but shadows of its former self. Struck by fear of ruin, I sold what remained and gathered 3,000 dirhams. A resolve arose within me, to traverse distant lands and trade amidst foreign shores. With high aspirations and the spirit of commerce, I equipped myself and journeyed to Basra. There, among merchants, I boarded a ship, and we sailed from sea to sea, isle to isle, trading our wares wherever fate led us. One day, the captain docked near a verdant island. The crew disembarked, and we formed groups, some cooked, others washed, and many explored, myself among them. But then, a shout rang from the shore, the captain cried, "Hurry! Board the ship! Leave your belongings, save your lives! This is no island, it is a mighty fish, its body covered in sand and trees. Your fires have awakened it, and now it shall plunge into the depths." Panic seized us. Some reached the ship, others did not. The creature stirred, the earth trembled, and all upon it sank beneath the waves. I was among the fallen, but the Almighty sent a plank my way, the very one used for washing clothes. I clung to it, paddling with my feet like a frog, as the waves lent me strength from both sides. The captain unfurled the sails and departed without glance or mercy. I watched the ship fade into the horizon, hope draining from my heart. Night fell, and I drifted upon the waves for a full day and cast upon another island, its trees leaning over the sea. I grasped a branch and dragged my broken body ashore. My legs were wounded by fish, torn and bleeding, yet in my fear, I had not noticed. Days passed as I lay like a corpse beneath the sun, until its warmth brought me back. I saw my swollen limbs and stumbled about, sometimes on knees, sometimes with hands. I drank from springs and ate fruits, regaining my strength. With a branch, I fashioned a cane and wandered the island, marveling at the creatures of the Most High. One day, I glimpsed a shadow, an enormous horse tethered nearby. I approached, and it let out a mighty neigh, causing me to tremble. Then, from beneath the ground, a man emerged. He cried, "Who are you, stranger? What brings you here?" I replied, "O noble sir, I am but a castaway, thrown into the sea with my companions." The exalted sent a plank, upon which I rode the waves to this isle. The man took my sleeve and said, "Come." He led me to a hidden crypt, beneath the ground, and from there into a subterranean house. There, he seated me and offered food, which I devoured in hunger. He asked my story, and I told him all. When I finished, I swore to him, saying, "O master, I have shared my tale. Now, reveal to me, who are you? Tell me, who art thou, and what business hast thou in this enchanted land? And why is thy steed tethered by the sea?" The man answered, "O traveler, we are keepers of His Majesty King Merjan's royal herds, dwelling near the shores of this isle. Each moon's passing, we select the finest maras and bring them here, tying them by the water's edge. We then descend to the vaulted cellars below, hiding ourselves from watchful eyes. When the sea stallions scent the maras, they emerge from the depths, casting glances this way and that. Should they find none to disturb them, they approach the tethered females to mate. But the maras, being bound, cannot follow when the stallions seek to take them back to the waters. Then the stallions, frustrated, rear and whinny, striking the maras with hooves and teeth. Their cries rise high, echoing like thunder beneath the earth, and we, hidden in the cellars, know our trap has worked. Swiftly we spring forth, shouting to drive off the stallions. Frightened by our sudden appearance, retreat back into the sea. The maras, having conceived by the sea stallions, later give birth to foals of unmatched grace and value, beings unlike any found upon the land. These days mark the season when the sea stallions rise. He added, "If the Almighty wills, I shall take thee before King Merjan, that thou mayest behold our city. Know this. If thou remainest alone upon this isle, thy fate is to perish unmarked, and thy name shall vanish with the tide." I thanked the man, praying for him and his generosity. As we spoke, lo! A sea stallion emerged and let out a mighty cry. After he mated with one of the maras, he sought to drag her into the waves, but her bonds denied him. Angered, he kicked and neighed, and the mare's guardian leapt forth with a drum and a stick, beating the drum to summon his companions. At once, men armed with spears poured from the cellars, their voices loud as tempests. The stallion, terrified, plunged back into the watery deep. The keeper sat beside me, and his fellows gathered round. Seeing me, they asked of my tale, and I spoke it in full. A cloth was spread, food shared, and when night fell, they seated me upon a noble steed, and we journeyed for days until we arrived at the land of King Merjan. They presented me to the king and spoke my tale. The king summoned me, and I recounted all from the day I departed Baghdad to the moment I reached the isle. Amazed, he cried, "By God! Thy time was not yet come." Thus was I spared, and the king treated me with kindness. I remained in his court, and whenever a ship docked, I questioned the sailors about Baghdad, but none knew the city or held a clue. My heart grew heavy with longing, for I was a stranger in a strange land. Time passed, and one day, as I stood by the sea with staff in hand, a mighty ship appeared, bearing merchants aplenty. When the ship reached the shore, the captain lowered the sails and secured the ropes. The travelers disembarked, bearing their wares, and I began to record the cargo. I asked the captain, "Is aught else aboard?" He replied, "Indeed. Some goods remain, belonging to one who drowned on a neighboring isle. We hold them in trust and shall sell them, sending the coin to his kin in Baghdad." I asked, what was the name of this man? He said, "Sinbad the sailor, drowned at sea." Hearing this, I gazed upon the captain and exclaimed, "O noble one! Behold, I am he. I am Sinbad the sailor, and these goods are mine. I boarded your vessel with companions, and when the island we thought solid began to move, being no land but a great fish, you cried the warning. Many leapt back aboard, but I, alas, was cast into the sea. The Lord, in his mercy, placed in my path a wide plank, upon which your crew once washed their garments, and I clung to it until I reached this shore. Now I live by God's grace in the court of King Merjan. The captain gasped. Glory be. I saw thee perish, and swore to protect thy belongings. But how can I believe this tale? I replied, listen well to my words, for truth is the light of the righteous and lies the cloak of hypocrites. I then recounted every moment of our voyage, every exchange between us, from Baghdad to the Isle. And he, finally convinced, gave me what was mine. And lo, at that very moment the captain and all who had journeyed with me aboard the ship recognized my face. Seeing me alive and well, they cried out in joy and astonishment, blessing the name of the Almighty who had granted me a second life. We had sworn, they said, that none could survive such doom. Surely, thy tale is written by the pen of fate itself. Then, they brought forth the goods from the ship's hold, and behold, my name adorned them still, untouched and whole, as though the sea itself had guarded my treasure. I journeyed with several among the crew to the court of King Merjan, where I declared, this, O noble ruler, is the very vessel I sailed upon, and my possessions lie within, untouched and complete. The king, marveling greatly, commanded proof be brought, and when all was confirmed, he lavished upon me gifts of great worth. Thereafter, I sold my goods and traded wisely, purchasing fine wares to carry home. And when the merchants prepared to set sail, I too readied my chests and sought the king's leave to depart. With warmth and honor, he granted it, bestowing upon me riches and bidding me farewell. We set sail, and by the grace of the Eternal, after several days and nights upon the waves, we reached the port of Basra unharmed. Joy swelled in my heart, for the scent of Baghdad was near, the city of my soul. When we at last arrived, I disembarked, my heart beating like a darbuka in celebration. I walked to my house, and there gathered my sons and kin, who rejoiced at my return from the realm of peril. Thus ends the tale of my first voyage, but come the morrow, I shall spin the thread of my second journey, a saga of wonder, peril, and revelation. That evening, Sinbad the sailor honored the humble porter, Sinbad the carrier, welcoming him with food and comfort, and gifting him 100 miskals of red gold as a token of gratitude. And now, who among you knows what red gold truly is? Let me know in the comments below. Sinbad the carrier, amazed and laden with gold, returned home with thoughts swirling like stars. By dawn's first light, he returned to Sinbad the sailor's house, where he was once again welcomed with honor and heard the tale of the second voyage. Dearest listeners, if you wish to hear what befell Sinbad on his second wondrous journey, and discover what marvels lay ahead, then follow my page, subscribe, and ring the bell of tales, that you may be the first to hear the next story that dances from the lips of legend. And tell me, did you enjoy the voyage of his first adventure? Do share this page with lovers of Eastern stories, and until the next tale unfurls, may the winds of wisdom be forever at your back. Crescent Moon Open Book.